we have Vicky.
Hey.
We have Alpha Dog Wolf. That wasn't him. That wasn't him laughing, by the way. But yeah, that's where we start. We forgot to start doing that. He was happy that we weren't all going Alpha Dog. Woof woof woof. He was happy that we weren't doing that. Like the kids at Montlou Elementary. But also we have Drama Diva 7, as she's calling herself, in the house, but not actually in the house, but able to chat. Yeah, and watch with us. This is the first time we're actually doing that because, well, actually that's not true. We did it when Mario Kart came out for a second or two, but we've never done this for Mario Party.
Well, hello also to everybody else, Vicky.
Hey.
My wifey.
Wifey.
So if y'all are jumping in, grab some controllers. I feel like most of them were put away, but there is this one here. I don't know if this was the one Alpha somebody had problems with and was dying. Just check real quick. The lights come on.
I mean, if you're playing, I'd rather just watch you play. I don't want to play against my baby.
Oh, you always play with
Boo! Y'all we can do team mode.
me. Yeah.
Okay, we can do teams. So.
That one should
Yeah,
have
but he doesn't want to be
enough.
stuck with me.
That one should have enough
I'm
juice
waiting
in
for
it.
number 3 to come up.
And what we're going to try to do is, since you were looking at getting one of those controllers, third party, here's this one here. Grab that. May not reach.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're just so strong.
I mean, you're rough on me. I'm sorry. Be gentle to my baby.
It looks like it's lit up.
He was trying to rub my shoulders, and he's just too strong. He doesn't really.
Now, is that one lighting up or no?
Oh, she wants to wait for player 3.
Okay, well, I don't see.
And Vicky's, your end is no one. Vicky's is not picked up yet.
I don't think that one.
Neither one of them.
You want to try this one?
Yeah. There. That one.
Okay. And she wants number 3. Is it even?
I don't think that one's gonna work. Yeah, that one's probably dead. Where's? Don't you got that one beside you? And then, let's see.
All right.
That's
So you have
3.
number 3 and you just need one more. Okay.
Before we get started.
So we got all that going, but then here's my Joy-Con here. I like how they disabled the other screen.
What?
No, I said I like how they disabled the other screen because it said you couldn't view that screen where I was pairing the controllers. But now it shows it at the bottom that we're back playing again.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do Luigi. We'll link number 3 there, and then we'll link Mario there. But maybe Alpha doesn't want to be Mario there.
Where'd you find this grip at?
Oh, I made that.
Oh, 3D print. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Kari. Yes, ma'am. Hi, man. It's in the refrigerator. Take it out of the container.
Wait for her to get back.
Yeah, and really that menu we've got on standard. But I need it smaller like that. I like how it shows that it's like it doesn't show her this stuff, but if you're watching on Twitch, you see all of that. Or on YouTube or whatever.
You might be surprised. I must have surprised. Yeah.
No, nobody sees any of this anyway.
Alpha, stop tickling her.
Oh. Well, she heard what you were doing. She didn't see it.
Unless he's watching the stream.
Oh yeah, unless they're watching the stream too.
Not watching the stream. I know her tickle giggle.
Giggle.
Yeah, it is. It does.
Tickle giggle.
It is a lot higher than the normal. Wow.
It's the normal laugh.
Come back here and give me the beat. Thank you.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
It's just weird what it'll show and what it won't show.
Because it's not showing.
Are you able to see the screen?
Not right now. It still says can't see the screen.
It's so weird. Like, why can't she view that screen? I guess it's
Now it's
just...
coming back.
And it's still blocked out. I don't know if it's because of this part. We'll just get into the Mario Party and then we'll try to mess with that down.
You do have your screen sharing on?
Uh-huh. But sometimes it could be like, you know, internet connection between the two places. The garage is too full, so they can't go out there. We got a bunch of yard sale stuff. Y'all welcome to bring more.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a driveway.
Driveway's full too. Oh darn.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys just said, yeah, daddy. Yeah.
Trying to show off.
Oh, hey, no.
Oh, hey, no. Oh, no.
Good luck, everyone. playing on Steam. Probably said Steam doesn't charge us to talk to our friends.
So we're gonna do tag team.
And on the Discord, not only can we watch them, we could also watch them game and talk to them at the same time.
So Jamie, since you won last time, we're gonna let you pick where we're going.
Oh, but Vicky did win, didn't she? She smashed y'all.
No, I lost last time.
I thought you won last time.
No, I won the 2 times before.
Yeah. I won last time. Let's I kind of want to do the one with the volcano.
Okay.
Because that's like my favorite one besides for the mall one. Yeah. Goomba Lagoon.
Why does it feel like we played that recently though?
We played it with Bernard, I think.
Do you want to?
We can still play it.
We
if you
never
want.
played. The only thing is we never played the race car one.
Okay, so you want to go there?
I kind of want to go there only because we don't play it, even though I know everybody hates it.
I don't think I hate it. It's just that that's one you definitely need to go more than 10 turns. That's definitely like a 20 turn one.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Anne is already like, oh.
Yeah, we're not doing 20 turns because I gotta work in the morning.
I mean, you can still do it. It's just to get the full experience of it. It's just not gonna.
Okay, do you want to do the Wiggler's Tree Party?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm down for the Goomba Lagoon again.
Okay.
If that's what you really want.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it.
Okay.
I love that one.
I mean, and last time we didn't do teams. We just did,
It's so fun. We get to do the Goombaki.
team settings.
That's all that donut likes.
Me and Yoshi.
I don't think you're screen sharing.
Okay, well, hold on.
You should be doing it.
It was. I'm gonna hit the chat button again. And when I hit screen sharing, you see that that's with it off, and this is with it on.
Mind your business, mind your business.
So maybe it doesn't show on my screen because I switched to the expand, but on standard it showed.
I'm not sure.
For whatever reason, it says
It's
can't
just
view.
weird.
It just says can't view the screen.
Screen. I don't know.
Anne, can you see it?
It just says can't view the screen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it says here too.
It's just, yeah. I just don't know why.
Oh, we want that on.
on. Yeah.
On for that. Vote for this. Y'all want to do 10 or 15? What do y'all want? 10 or 15?
This is the volcano one?
Yeah.
I guess let's do. What time is it? It's almost 10. I guess we'll do 10.
Okay. She said, perfect. I don't know why it's not showing, Ann.
Maybe it's.
I don't know.
Maybe it'll start when we start playing.
That's what I was thinking myself too, because in some of those other screens it blocked it out.
Or just certain games to block out.
Let's take this alligator out.
Goomba Lagoon!
at 27.
Oh shit. Oh, sorry.
Well, we were doing so well, but warning! Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Sorry.
We're
I
good.
mean, we already brought up Bukaki.
I don't think that was recorded yet.
Oh.
If it was, I missed it.
Look, I'm keeping all the other words I normally say to myself.
We're gonna be there at.
Oh wow.
We'll be there at 12, but wedding starts at 6. And at 7, though, so not gonna be running late.
Or rearrange the player order so teams take turns. Okay.
Yes! Me.
I like how you can barely see Alpha. He's like, I'm actually Waluigi. I'm method acting for sure.
Curry, I got the crop. Already. Try to eat it.
So was last time we played too.
It's not sharing the screen.
That's really bothering you that it has that there, isn't it?
It's okay. I
How
can
much-
still hear you guys.
Here we go.
See, I'm manipulating it, and it's not. The preview is not visible to other people in the chat. Face only. Screen sharing. Let's look at that setting. Share stream on the home menu. I actually don't want to share in the home menu. No, I'll leave that on. I don't care.
What do you want, King? I'm not bothering you right now. But you can be my dinner.
Yep. And just do it when we start.
Do what? It didn't do it when we started? Yeah. What I am going to do though is full screen it.
Can you still hear us, Anne?
She should be able to hear it.
Okay.
Nice to meet you guys. Just gotta make sure that don't hear the words I use.
Okay. That's enough.
Come on, baby. You can do it.
Remember now, in this mode, we share the mic together.
Yep.
Same time frame.
Mario's closer though, but I guess I'll just keep going. His price is leaving. Shamefully, I didn't even recognize the guy.
I was nervous at first, but I'm like, what are you doing over here?
I went over there and he was just like, you don't recognize me? I was like, I think so. He was like, yeah, Bryce's best friend. Like, okay, and then after the rehearsal was over, I was like, remind me what's your name again, man.
Mini games.
How do you not know me? I'm like, I'm Todd. Boy Preem. I'm like, I've heard Preem before. We haven't talked about Boy Preem, I just didn't know. Oh shit, oh yeah.
Just not diffuse it loose. I don't care which one, it's not diffuse.
Okay. That's
That's a match.
This one.
It's a match.
I forgot how to play this. We haven't played it in so long.
Is the one that,
That means these two
the one
right
next
there.
to me? No,
No.
on the other side.
That one.
You
that
could
one,
say
that
that's
one.
alright. And this one used to pop up all the time now.
Oh, right there. Oh.
Definitely need to practice this one. See, I was used to the games where you didn't have to really think. This,
Oh, it's this one.
here's one where you gotta actually think.
Looks like we're waiting on Mario.
Yeah, you keep waiting because
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna get into a rhythm of this.
Was that there?
Came all the way back here for some party.
Was that up in the
I think it's a bullet.
Wait, it was.
It starts over after a while.
Oh, I was like, what the hell just happened?
They probably got to the end.
Where's the C button?
They probably got to the end of it.
A C.
Yes.
Where's the C button?
You could also share your screen in and we can watch what you're doing.
Is it not sharing?
Is that one?
Oh,
If-
that's the old start controller. No, there's no C button on that one.
Wait, so what do I use?
You have to switch controllers.
Looks like we're waiting on Mario. I don't want to play with that controller.
You tell him, baby.
How do I share my screen?
Yeah, I don't remember either. It's not the boat.
That one.
It's not the
Checking something.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like you passed it already.
Looks like we're waiting on
Was
Yoshi.
it
Was it this guy?
no, I felt like it was.
Put the other controller next to you so you can hit the C button on that when you need to.
Okay, it's already linked.
You want the script?
See.
Sorry, I'll just go solo.
Isn't there like a Hammer Brother?
Is that it?
Yeah, those are the chat options. I'm just gonna put the controller next to you.
So this guy
Okay,
is
but I need. Turn on the thing.
Hold on.
I don't have to keep getting up.
We keep picking the wrong thing.
Like you were at the thing. Share the screen.
Is it not a
Is
bullet?
that
Move the.
this? Oh,
Fish.
did it do it? Or did I do
None of
it?
these are matching.
Oh.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
None of those match.
Oh, I gotta put my camera on
Quick,
too.
what are you doing?
I don't have a camera. Do I?
Do you want
Yeah,
to
just keep going.
Oh, okay.
I'm just.
Fish.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go back down to, yeah, well, that one, yeah.
Can you
No,
guys
go
see
back.
it now?
Hold on, let me, yeah, we can see what you're doing now.
Okay.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
But for whatever reason, you can't see us.
I don't know. Is it because you guys are streaming?
In the middle.
Alright, let's just do it.
Start.
Nope, down, bottom left, bottom left.
Oh, that was a fish. No. There we go.
Nope.
No, it was bullet. I thought it was bullet.
In the front. Other one.
Was it a fish? Yeah, in the middle. Yeah.
Oh, it's right there.
Fish.
We gotta say he's right or left.
Oh.
Yeah, we got lucky because they were ahead of us, each one except for that one.
Yeah, you had the first one.
Hmm?
Y'all had the first one. Y'all were ahead.
Oh, well,
We were only ahead on the second one.
New turn.
Sorry. I'm wearing mine already.
oh, they're short on coins either way though. Oh, never mind. But does your turn stop or you keep going?
No, my turn stopped.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, oh, do you get 5 for just crossing then? But it says you've landed. So as long as I don't choke here.
Joke.
Joe!
Joke. Oh. Spend all your
Joe,
money.
kill
Where
it.
you want to put that thing?
What was it?
No, I'll let you do that.
Joke.
Oh, girls, get it done.
Joke.
What do you want to
Girls,
do?
get it done.
I feel like this would be good right here. And I'm not used to like sharing my thoughts on what my strategy is like either. This is almost like Family Feud Mario Party.
You got a star.
I don't understand why it was sharing before we saw it, and then it stopped because I didn't change anything.
I don't understand either.
Me neither.
Because we can see you, what you're doing. Your island is like raining or something like that.
I wonder if
Yeah.
it only shares on the whole screen.
No, she's playing. You can.
No, on that setting that you tried.
Oh, it could be like. Let me see. Let me Google that. The Mario Party.
You can put me on the board, baby.
Oh my god.
Says yes.
Driveway talk.
Oh, however, it does not support online screen sharing or game share over online chat.
Ah, why?
That's so lame.
So,
You can game share,
yeah.
but you can't screen share.
That's so stupid.
Oh,
I don't understand
that
why.
sucks.
But it was doing it for a little bit until the game.
Anything that you wanted to get from the shop.
Double dice.
Well, at least we know that now, and it's not something that is not hardware related.
Yeah.
They're fighting. Oh. Dog, don't bring him over here.
You tell him, wifey. It's okay, baby. We'll work on
You can.
No,
Does it have to go in a certain spot? Or?
Yeah. You can only go like 1 or 2 in front of you or behind you. But, I mean, you're by a shop, I would put it there.
You said what?
You're by a shop, I would put it on that lucky spot right there.
You hear that?
You guys are going to Bucky.
Lucky. Not that one, but
I'm always
the one in front of. Yeah, that one right there.
You look like you want to get lucky.
So now what happens is all 3 of those. You land on the middle one, you lose half your or 10 coins or whatever, but the other 2 are bad too.
I'm lucky.
Gotcha.
I got you.
So you also don't want to land on the other 2.
Hater.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
that's said don't.
Where's the taxi? I'm thinking about towers.
Minigame.
Yeah, she looked like his wife left him.
Front cut.
Vote.
Yeah, not jump the gun. Not jump the gun.
Sorry.
The worst.
Slide to the edge.
Front cut.
Yes.
Alright.
Uh-oh. And people's yawning.
Let's go.
Remember, we want to cut it like in the middle. This one always looks like North Carolina to me. But like flipped. We're doing the prime cut, the steak.
I heard. The boys and sled to the edge.
Slid to the edge!
Slid to the edge. Slid to the edge.
Looks like we're waiting on Mario.
Oh,
Woo!
Oh, wow.
Perfect.
Looks like we're waiting on the ocean.
Tell them this ice cream is buy one.
Round one.
At Publix.
Ooh, probably.
I love. I can have me a pub sub for lunch.
No, stop moving.
Yes.
Aren't they doing half subs for like $4?
You're off on that one.
So
Yeah, we were off. I was like, stop moving.
Round two.
No, that was off.
Final round.
I'm obsessed with Publix. With Publix. Well, Publix period, but with Publix popcorn.
Okay. There we go.
Please. Yeah.
Finish.
King and Queen. Yeah.
Amy, have you decided if you're coming with us on the 15th or is you're still going to the game?
What happens on the 15th?
We're going to Amy.
Oh.
I think I'm just gonna go to the game.
Okay.
I've already bought the tickets for this season.
I guess you have to at least go.
Wait. I think I'll wait.
Was Paul's thing tonight or is it tomorrow night?
I think he has one tonight and then one tomorrow night.
Anything you want, baby?
Okay, because I was confused. I thought at first he had one tonight, and then I seen you say something about Saturday, so I was like, oh, it's tomorrow night.
Well, Party didn't buy the ticket, so I'm not sure if I'm going or not. I think we're staying.
For tomorrow?
I would say let's go for the dice that you can pick. Manually. That's called custom dice black. Yeah.
It's gonna leave us with 10.
We got time. We're so far away.
22 for this
Mario time.
If I land on the blue
Wow,
one,
you move. I've been listening.
Hell yeah. DJ, bring that back.
Oh, you got that pipe?
That makes two of them.
Notice he didn't say golden pipe.
Well, I mean, I could have said and a golden one in the tuck, but I'm trying to keep this PG.
Tumble.
Yeah.
Even a PG.
All right, there you go. Oh wait, no, he's doing the fishing. I was hoping he would undo the tide.
No, you don't have any.
If you've never played this before, if you go over 15, you lose everything.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So that's one, you can go get 14 more.
Go ahead. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Yeah, they're good there.
You sure you don't want to get 7 more and be an even 20?
Nope.
good.
I'm not gonna listen to the devil over our shoulder.
Well, they gave you 8 for succeeding anyway, so that worked out for you.
What are we doing? We got Sony on.
You can only, I don't know. I'm good. You get something that you think you can use. You probably need a mushroom the way you're rolling.
Minigame.
Eat sweet cherry pie.
Lightweight battle. None of them would be great options. But
No. They're all platforming. Lightwave is the least platforming.
Sweet, sweet cherry pie.
Well, I didn't know it. Yeah, okay. But see, it's harder to see because of the. Hold on. Let's.
I mean, the screen is gonna get bigger.
I know, but
Oh, because of this screen share thing.
yeah. Hold on, somebody. Don't do anything real quick. Let me do that. Okay. Alright, y'all just died. You already won. You already won us to do it.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Yoshi's already out.
When I say I want you to jump my bones, I don't mean you to literally jump on my head here.
He's enjoying doing that. He's done it like
He's done
2
it
or
like
3
3
times already. Oh, I got juked. He went back down under the thing.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Ah.
Boy, I haven't found not one talent in this place.
Makes me wonder if Super Mario Party can screen share
Looks like we're waiting
or
on
Mario Party
Yoshi.
Superstars.
And that's probably like, no.
But you'd think Nintendo would want you to do that instead of using Twitch or any of these other things. Like, hey, I don't have the game, but I do want to watch my friend play it. paying for the membership. I'm paying you guys to do this. Why would you restrict me? Oh, you can hear it. You can't see it, though.
Yeah, Steam don't do that.
I can see.
I couldn't see either. Jamie won. So, Ann, did you get the membership, the free trial, or did you just pay the $20?
$20? I don't know.
Yeah, it's $20 for the year. That's not bad compared to the other stuff.
It said $3.99 per month, so that's what we gonna start with. I'm gonna cancel it next week.
Okay, but it said free trial for 7 days, and then
Yes.
okay, so you at least got that.
$20. Sounded offended.
I'm just looking more into this.
I was like, $20. That's a lot of money.
That's for the whole year, though.
But is that for one person or for the family?
That's for one person.
Ooh, I don't know.
But maybe when this one runs out for me, if y'all don't have one, we can just get on a group one and save money like that.
I have to look at who's on mine, but Kari's not on mine.
You said who's not on yours?
I was saying Kari's not on my family.
I was hoping somebody had a family plan. I was like, I'll get on that.
I'm on one. I don't know whose I'm on, though.
I'm on my ex-boyfriend.
Get that laugh.
He's
What
on
do you
my
wanna get rid of?
yeah. He's on my AAA, and I'm on his Nintendo family plan.
Not the mushroom.
I mean, that's the wimpiest
It's our
one, though.
yearly birthday
Okay,
present
whatever.
for each
Get rid
other.
of it then.
It's okay. Demorin Alpha knows Demorin.
Why she say like that though?
She thinks it's suspicious. I'm also on.
She about to do the pass the Troy. Uh-huh!
ATLANTAGA is where I stay. Left, 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 right.
Come on up.
Get on up, right, left.
I'll go back to.
So for those of you watching this replay in the future,
Oh.
Ann just got a Switch 2, and so did Jamie. Jamie's actually played a Switch 2 longer than anybody I know and didn't have one. It's like every Friday was playing one and never had one. She's like, I'm not done product testing this yet. I'm not fully sold yet on it. But I say all that to say, and Jamie, you can answer too. Ann, I know you don't like the controller so far, but what else do you like and not like about the system and the little time that you've messed with it so far?
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm gonna let her answer first, and then you answer after her.
I mean, I've only played Deco at this point. I mean, outside of the charges, just to talk and play. You know, but I think my game has sorry, think there's a bug in the game or something. So, but outside of that, it's okay.
Okay.
I can play it, and I can just lay on the couch and play it. I can't pull the couch up to the computer. Where are the towers in my game? Tim is outside. So when is our Union Tuscany night, ladies?
What?
Looks like we're waiting on Peach.
When is our Union Tuscany night?
Oh, I don't know.
That's a bar.
Bar.
Am I being chased?
We have the bar.
I ain't seen one tower out there.
Looks like we're waiting on Peach.
Yeah.
It rarely says that.
Circle like that.
I haven't played this one in a while. I wanted to.
I know, these are all games we haven't played in a while.
Throw it in a circle. Throw the thing in a circle.
Start. Round 1.
Alright, you have. Yep, that one.
Round 2.
Sword ball.
Round 3.
There is not one tower that I ever found in this game. Are there no towers in this game?
No, it wasn't what? You fooled me.
Is that it? No.
Round 4.
Ooh, turkey, bird.
Here's the bar.
Final round.
It's okay, baby.
Ooh, we got lucky and came back on
It's
that.
okay, baby.
That was my fault.
Still really good.
I'm glad you still love me even though I'm stupid. I'm so dumb.
You're fine.
Why do you sound like a TV sitcom character right
I'm so excited. I'm so scared.
New turn.
I was gonna say, I didn't see you take any edibles.
I didn't.
Okay.
I haven't since my back was out and I was using a cane.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Would that have, because that would have messed with the medication or whatever you
Yeah. And I decided, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I'm
Also, you gotta give her back some rest, okay? Rooster, I hear you. Oh, I hear Rooster.
Woo! Guess
Wow.
who got a golden pipe besides for my boyfriend?
Rooster, Rooster, I hear you call. Where are ya? Where are ya, Rooster? No, that's a turkey. I heard you.
It's gonna steal our coins, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is, right there.
Swing that tongue, boy.
That's what she said. Oh!
Oh, Rooster, I'm coming back for you. You mark this.
That's all of our money.
Oh no! Why you-
I wasn't trying to take all of it. I was gonna try to just get you down to 19.
Nice,
Oh,
nice. You were trying to take it all.
he did take it all.
Gusto.
Alright.
Rooster,
You
coming
still
back.
need the mushrooms, so I'll throw. I still think these are all better than
Okay, we can bring the
the
mushroom.
mushroom.
All right, Rooster, I'll be back.
It did take. Oh no, but they're 19 away from the star.
Yeah.
I didn't see how much money they had.
Oh yeah, Rooster.
Replacing double.
Oh no, don't want to go that way.
Not the golden pipe.
And you need. Oh no, you're not there yet. I was gonna say you. No, hold on. I was gonna say you could warp to the store. No, go back. Press the B button and go back. Warp to a store and buy. Hold on. What do we have? Those
Don't
three
let them
things.
set you
Yeah.
up
So use
there.
that shop one and buy something else. See if you can buy a golden pipe there. Let's wait on you.
So, no, I just roll.
Yeah. Yay, that was better. There should be a golden pipe in here. Maybe. Nope.
Too early.
No, it's in the other one.
Maybe another more.
I thought this one
Yeah,
had
sure.
at some point, like later on in the game.
Maybe it does.
I could be wrong.
Not you trying to come out of
Because
nowhere.
my golden pipe came from a box because I landed on the.
It's still landed on that. Well, maybe there's a hidden block there. Nope. Yeah, I'm just used to Yoshi just sulking now. That's like every turn.
Oh god, I hate all these. Taxi.
All of them give me anxiety, but only one gives me less anxiety. And that's usually if I'm the one jumping. Of course, it's this one. Crazy taxi is what they should call it.
Crazy taxi.
Crazy Kevin Powell.
Wait.
Foothill Motorsport.
You're the one going up and down.
Kevin says yes.com.
No, you got to read the thing. It says up and down is X or B.
You gotta go up.
Yeah, I'm left or right, you're top and bottom.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
You have to keep going.
Well, I understand. I'm just you're sweet.
You're a sweetheart.
You're a sweetheart.
You're
Oh,
sweetheart.
come on, sweetheart.
You're sweetheart. Oh.
Snapchat, woo! Almost got eaten by a shark. But I did not get eaten by the shark. You almost got me, buddy. You almost got me.
It looks like we're waiting on Peach.
Oh, it's chasing me now.
No, wait. I'm getting my bearings.
Going wrong.
We haven't done this one in a while.
Who and or what was chasing me?
Looks like we're waiting on Peach.
Chicken. You got going down. What's gonna drop? Drop the stone.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Alright, so when I stop moving, that's when I want you to hit the button for you, what you're supposed to do.
Sorry, that's my fault. I'll let-
There we go.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi. Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Shut up. Yoshi's practicing. My bad.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Shut up.
Nope, they got it.
Okie dokie.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Ducky quack quack.
I have no idea what that means, but
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
I heard someone say that all the time.
What? Shucky. Where you like? It came from a movie. Shucky ducky quack quack.
Booker T used to say that. Shucky Ducky all the time. I'm pretty sure he still does on commentary.
Three, two, one, go!
Oh!
Sorry.
She's on a run.
No, I moved my finger too far.
Oh, God.
Old spring mangrove. Mangrove sticks. One thing. Alright, go find mangrove. Where is this?
Yeah. We did great.
Doing great, honey.
Shucky ducky quack.
The comedian used to say that.
Only
Shucky
5 turns
ducky
left.
quack quack.
Home stretch.
Where is the? What are those?
Bicep, really?
I haven't seen a person yet, but it looked like that was Luigi in the air. It looked like it was Luigi in the air. I just noticed that it looked like there was a person. I don't know, we'll see.
Oh, there's a rooster right there! Oh my gosh.
Which one are you gonna do?
Let's see. Gosh. We need the coin so bad. I think we'll just do the both teams coin stuff.
You get some mangrove.
That gave us. Ooh, okay.
I know it did, but we need to get like something. Anyway.
I thought you were going to add another
I was gonna add
Star Exchange. So I was like, oh, they can just get whatever one is close to them and possibly get the second one once they get enough coins. But
Close to the ghost.
I mean, probably he's better off getting the star right now because I'm right there by it.
To the ghost. You're far from it.
No! 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 No!
Wow!
No! That's not what I meant.
Can you go back to
I don't think she can. She's already selected it. Maybe you can.
No, 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 no. Yes, yes,
Oh
no.
my god.
I mean, then we could always like cancel out the game and go back into the game and then go back again.
I can.
What I selected.
I'll do that for you because I know what you were going to actually do. Let's see. How do we actually do that? I think we quit to the studio. Hold on. When I say go back to the studio, yeah. And then we'll resume the game from the last turn.
That's not what I meant.
I know what you. I was like, oh, this works out for me because I'm gonna get it, but I'll be nice. I'll be nice, and I think we can continue back from.
What's next?
that save file, assuming it's saved from. But you've got to pick the coin one again if they offer that
Jamboree
to make it
TV.
how.
Of course, because I'll do exactly what I did last time.
So it looks like it was right here.
Only 5 turns left.
Which winner is
Home stretch.
chicken.
But who knows? They still gave the 44. So it's still right here on.
Oh, I can't catch him yet. I gotta. Oh wait, I can go to the game stuff.
Oh no, they didn't get the 44 yet. You didn't pick the double. So we got 44 to make 88 coins. I wasn't paying attention. I thought we had less coins than that. I was like, oh, we had 22 and now we have 44. No. Somebody's controller went to sleep.
I see, baby.
It's this one. Come on.
I saw the old spring. Oh, God.
Maybe tap it twice, maybe? Ah.
I did.
It's not
I
like
saw the
it's dead or
spring.
nothing. I mean, it's just not pairing. It's that pair button. Oh, right here. Let's try that.
That's like this, wish.
Technical difficulties, but
There we go.
Oh, Eddie Kane still time.
Shucky ducky quack quack.
That's like this time. Wish that raindrops would fall.
What they're gonna do is we're gonna get the star, and then whenever she goes in, I'll just steal the star.
Stop. Ready here no more.
They have enough coins to get a star and steal it.
They're close to the middle.
well, it doesn't matter. We have to see where the next star appears before you. Right after you take this one, we need to see where it goes. Because I'm all the way over there. Unless it appears closer, then yeah, we might do what you're saying. All right.
Yay, we got a star!
So for those of you who missed what happened, we rewound that last sequence because although she chose what she chose, we all know that she probably would have chosen the golden pipe, what her intention was. It wasn't necessarily pulling a Paul. Although it feels like it.
Feels like was it?
So look, she's actually right there near.
And I can't buy a second one because I don't have enough coins.
I'll give you all my coins.
Oh, thank you.
If I had it.
So she drowned both of y'all, so you can't even get to the ghost. Alpha is also stuck.
Yeah, I can't get to the ghost either.
But Mario can get to the star. He's only a couple wings. He can do. Yeah. He can do that to get to the star. Oh no!
It warped us to this one, which is fine. That's still a star there. So I'm gonna buy this.
Of course he is.
I'm just telling her because we're sharing the money, but
Show me the money.
I can't stand Tom Cruise.
now, I could have stayed over there and let you use it, but
Like the old
there's no telling what'll happen right here.
No, he's too into Scientology. He's so weird.
You know, he drinks the Kool-Aid. I don't know why.
Going down. No.
No, he gets to punch you over though.
You can get to the star. Your next round, no, you can't.
Near 6 toys. Game is taxing us a bit.
He came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh, it was firmly on his scrotum. Hold on, so you're 11 away, but it's like behind you, isn't it?
You go into a circle.
Okay, just use the golden pipe.
Oh, I'm on a mission to fetch you. Check that.
I was gonna say, it'd been sweet if you rolled a 10 and went right back to the store.
You got a star.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't even think I got a spring. I'm on my way back with it. Oh no, I got a spring. Yeah.
Oh, so it is. Bless you.
Thank you.
Is that reachable for Alpha, or is he at the bottom part of it?
I think he's at the bottom part. I'm not 100% sure.
Mini game.
0-star move.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Got a trap. Trap.
Alpha was messing with us like he's gonna go to cold front.
Oh.
Yes.
Rooster right on.
I got potato chips.
We've never played this one on teams though, so
No, we haven't.
I think it's just whoever gets the most right combined is who wins.
Oh, I think it's still 1-on-1 because it's not 2v2.
I know, but I'm saying like it'll combine. Like if you get 10 and he gets 1, that'll be 11 versus whatever we do.
Probably.
What's the difference?
Start. Round 1.
Wifey, what are you doing?
Looking for the rooster. If he ever been eaten by something. I heard him.
Round 2.
Oh, there he is. Larry, come here. You're mine. Catching you.
Banana. Correct.
Yes! I caught the rooster. You belong to me. You belong to me.
Round 3.
Go ahead and get that cock.
I got it. No, I gotta get it.
Hey!
Got my cock in cage.
Round 4.
The rooster is locked up. He's locked up. I won't let him out. So when I start my farm, I'll already have a rooster.
God damn. Never follow me. I just hit a random button.
Final round.
I felt like she did.
Yes.
No, I thought that was plus bananas.
Mommy, I got a rooster.
Oh, I didn't know baby got it.
He did.
Hey,
Yeah, baby.
you gotta acknowledge me.
I'm sorry.
Finish.
I got one.
Well, there was a couple of games where that worked out in your favor and you won. think Jonas used to do weird ones like that where he would guess. He was very good at seeing like the little details before the whole
Only 4
womp
turns
went up.
left. All right.
Yay, green! I got 6 coins, baby!
Mario time.
Hmm. I'm tempted to use one of these. It could put me in a worse position where if I stay over here, maybe I get back to that store again. Where are you at?
Where are you?
You're also able to get right back to the store. So why don't you do that? Let's see, hold on. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm too many away to get back to the store, but you can, so I'm going to use it. And possibly warp where y'all are. I think I'm going to warp where y'all are because y'all are all in good spots. Yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah, stab me.
Yay! We get coins for that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Oh, you're 2 to the star and you don't have
Because I was hoping I could warp where he was, but either way, we have enough to where you're going to buy a golden pipe, and I'm going to buy a golden pipe. That's what the end game
I'm
is here.
gonna buy a golden pipe, and we're all gonna have golden pipes.
I hope you. Oh, you can use the dice.
Triple dice.
No, the regular, the other dice.
The regular
And
one
just
and
do
the one.
one. Yeah.
And at least that'll give us some coins. But
Yeah. That'll give us some coins, and then. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I was thinking he was trying to just clear that whole area. Yeah, triple dice will not be good there. This is an unusual play here. Well, let's see if it works out in their favor.
I just want to see what's in there. Though. I'm not gonna find it. Nope.
I was gonna laugh. I was like, buy a chain shell.
I'm just rolling, right?
Yeah, you're just rolling. Terrible. Terrible.
No, I hope we get the coins.
Or a star. Give us a star. Give us a star. Star me, baby. Star me, baby. Star me, baby. Stars, baby.
You gonna do yours first? Or
I'm gonna use a new pair of
You
shoes.
landed on it, so you do yours first. You're not gonna be like, oh, you picked that. It's like, nope. Whatever it is, you picked it.
Stars,
What's
baby,
the
stars,
thing I
baby,
do?
stars,
Disclaimer.
baby, stars, baby,
The views and
stars,
opinions
baby,
expressed in this
stars,
program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and or hosts. They do not explicitly or
no, it
necessarily
says first
reflect
Mario.
the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or his channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program. Viewer expression is allowed.
Hey.
Yeah.
Discretion is advised.
Chance time.
Alright, let's see. Let's hope we don't give them anything of ours. Oh.
Stars. Yes!
Oh, wow.
Yes!
Oh, wow.
Yes! I said it!
Oh, wow.
Yes!
You manifested that shit. Wow. Did not see that coming.
I did say it.
Oh wow.
Bonus
Stars,
mini
baby,
game.
stars, baby.
Double the coin. Let's go, Cookie Cutter.
Alright, shoot. It doesn't matter. Rocky Road Race.
Excuse me. Goodness.
Wow. That was a Lauren burp right there.
No, it wasn't.
That was exactly how she burps.
Yeah.
Hers is a more guttural.
Alright, give us an example.
Don't know what else to say.
No.
That's right, I can wait till he comes.
Sorry doesn't like it when I do that. Bird.
I'd say that. The answer early.
Pop the
Looks like we're waiting on Peach.
Day 5 and I've already got a wrist to carry.
You got yourself a cock, Marion?
Looks like a month or so.
Yeah. I'm only day 5 in this. This is perfect. Gotta have yourself a good old cock. So that so when the eggs get laid, they get fertilized.
1. Go.
They have a look out on that part when you get. Wait for the hard one. It's hard.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't matter how many times I hit it, it's not doing anything.
Finish.
Yeah, baby.
So you don't
did
hold it until you get to the thing.
I
You-
did it and it wouldn't connect, it wouldn't.
We did it. So proud of you, baby.
Leonard, don't be yelling at her.
Hey, I will mute you.
Don't be yelling at her. Now I'll just come in the MGT and Jamie can play it out loud for you.
We'll do Jamie and Apple will play out loud so he can put it on stereo.
Item mini game.
That's great. That's my upset.
Start.
Mushroom. Oh, it was. It's like it's on the edge though, but I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't count. It works for
You got
most
Whatever
of
is
it.
most of it.
Yeah.
Badger, 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 mushroom, mushroom.
Mario time.
Alright, let's look at this. So the worst thing that can happen is the red or the chance time. Which,
Roll a 2.
Dual mini game.
One minute game. Yeah, I wasn't doing
she's not the one that can decide that.
it. Corvettes.
Okie dokie. Let's go. 3. 2, 1, go! Finish!
Yeah.
I think she got it.
You got it, okay. I thought there was more after that.
Barely. But I got more.
Yeah, baby.
I tried real hard. I suck at that one.
We did good.
Yeah, we got enough coins. Now you can get that star, baby.
So you need to use that and buy an actual star or buy a golden pipe.
Let's use the regular Okay. Star, we want the stars. We want all the stars.
I would like this one too.
You got a star.
My baby got a star.
We got a star.
He got a star.
Aha, the star will be here. And it's like right in our path. Is it?
Ooh, I hope you get Umbaki.
Ooh, later, I'm gonna sell some PlayStation. You heard me?
Well, that's bad.
Damn.
No, we didn't hear you. We're at a crucial point in the game. Say it again.
Sell some plates. I said I'm gonna sell some plates at your yard today.
Okay. Yeah, y'all are welcome to look at what we got. We got all.
No, food plates.
Oh, okay.
Ah. At least we got some more.
Oh, this is gonna be rough. For all of us. Because we're all in
Some
the thick
mac and
of
cheese
it.
and some chicken.
And she got her get out of jail card.
Oh, she was smart.
Smart people.
Let her tell me to do it.
I'd have to go into the storage unit, break out the
Never
all the
let me
warmers,
take your thunder out of that.
but that's okay.
You can literally see it in the replay that I said it.
I don't care.
Worth it to do that.
What?
I think it would be worth it to do that.
Okay, me and the rooster going to sleep bed now. That's late.
Okay. So we're gonna use that as well. We're saving that to get that star back.
You don't have enough coins.
No. There's 2 more turns, we'll get the points.
Just not diffusing like I don't care. I like the other two.
Alright.
Let's go!
Yeah.
James.
Nope.
You got the bottom one. That one.
Better.
No, I got the wrong one.
Start! Round 1.
Are you where?
No.
Alright, we got the upper thing. Oh, wait, it's a little shit. That one.
Round 3.
Wait, I got it.
Oh, that's the wrong one. My
Round
bad.
4.
No, I don't know. Alright, you got that one.
Final round.
You got
First low.
Oh, barely.
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 That's about it. Shot D. Down on
Only 2 turns left.
2 turns, baby. You got this.
Let's let my town down.
3. Where are you? Where's mommy?
There goes my baby. I'm sorry, the H. Oh, no! Not the croc on my land. Get off my land, croc!
That's my purse.
Get your hand off my land, croc!
Yep. Oh.
It's okay. I got 6 right here.
Mario time.
He's also got one.
Get off my land, croc!
He's gonna have to go through all that lava soon.
You got a star.
Yes, so you'd be leaving the
This is extremely Mama, I catch your arms out. All right.
Bucky!
Kiss me. I miss you too. Cross that. There you go. There you go. Fire. Stuff on fire.
You got a
You got a
star.
star.
You got a star.
Oh shit. Come over here. So I can lock you up.
I still put the star right next to him. Okay,
Come on.
No,
Right here.
it's not.
Right here. Right there. Yeah.
come on,
Your
open.
lights up.
That's so close to you.
We're gonna have to go in for it anyway, so.
Well, we got another mini game, and I got a turn.
I think I can afford. I can afford a plate.
Don't get that back. Don't get this back.
Your hole.
Your hole.
Don't
So
appear. Appear.
roll and then see if you can get to the ghost.
Vicky got a star!
You got a star.
Yay!
Yay, Vicky got a star!
Get it, Vicky, get it. Get it, Vicky, get it. Look, I gotta give all of my, gotta do all my cheering from here.
Go to the left, yeah.
I'm gonna catch you, little possum. You're gonna be mine.
That's the only thing I can do is still what few coins we have.
Yeah, right still.
Let's talk once tomorrow, okay?
That's still all our coins. They still don't know enough to get a star. But we don't have enough to get a star. Now they have to.
Mini game.
Four-player minigame. Tree throw! Or snag the flags. Either one. As long as it's not 8
Welcome to another episode of Snag the Flex.
Flag.
Hobby says, I wish I was there, but gotta work maybe next week. Looks like Jamie is gonna win.
Hey, Hobby. I won't be here next week. I got a baseball game. Are you coming? Or are you gonna be here?
I'll be come next week, but I can't. I think we're going to Georgia.
Well, it's your birthday next week.
Yeah.
My wifey's birthday next week, everybody. Send her money and love.
Yay! I'm turning 25. Yay! Come on, fish.
You should tell everybody your cash app.
Dang, I got us.
What is my cash? I don't know what it is.
Anne should tell everybody her cash app, her PayPal, her Zelle, her Venmo.
Not gonna say my Zelle because you know they may be calling me on my phone.
True.
I'm like, nah.
Oi, toy.
It's the cash app. I don't know that now. When Alpha asked me cash app was here, I was like, yes. I have it.
I'm just gonna be second.
And then I got distracted at work. Oh, finally the rain is gone.
Just gonna go around the circle. I don't need to walk around in circles, walk around in circles. Oh, we're on.
For all the viewers, the cash app is $A Monique 731.
Yeah. You hear that? A Monique 731. $A Monique 3731. Send her
You can
some
drop
money.
it. You can drop a couple of dollars in there. I'll take whatever you got. Buy me a shot. I don't drink shots, but
Send her some money to
I
get
do.
some Sims packs.
I will drink some Parade. Get a little Parade slush. Amy, I wish you played Dingo so you can come and dine my town. I don't. My mind sees what I want, but I can't create it.
Dang, this has been 3.
Sorry, I do not understand the sound of why it keeps turning up.
It's the last turn. Go ahead and use triple X if you want to. It don't matter. Or not.
Hobby says good night.
Night, Hobby.
Can I have it? Because is he still in Texas or is he back yet?
He said he's back. It sounds like he said he's at work.
Oh, okay.
Go work.
He says, "Wait, y'all playing teams? Damn, y'all getting smoked."
Well, I hope his dad is all good and stuff.
Yeah, is your dad all right? Well, he might have left already. There's people always show up when it's like right at the end.
Oh, okay.
Just roll or what?
I would use the warp. See where it takes you. Maybe it puts you next to the star. There's nothing else to do. As long as I use all the items we got.
Let's go grab some underwaters.
Oh, look, it puts you at the ghost. If you... Okay, so hold on, go to the board. No pressure, but you have to get 1, 2, 3, 4. You have to roll 4 or higher. No, you do it. If you roll 4 or higher, you can steal the star and win the game.
2.
1 short.
I was trying to get you at least on the blue one.
Oh, man. I just needed 4.
Where's the star now?
Here, I got some stuff to sell you, John.
Receive 100 stars. Receive 100 stars.
Show me the stars!
Oh, fuck. This has not been your game. Nope.
It's okay, Vicky. It's okay.
Everybody has a game like this. It's alright. God knows I've had it 12 dozen of them.
I'm blame it on Leonard.
Yeah, the tape does not agree with you.
Blame it on Leonard.
Grab, cut, tricky turntable. Not jump the gun.
Vicky.
What the heck? Why did I do that
Just
again?
doing it again.
Maybe that's why there's like a delay. Because something's wrong with this one.
This probably needs to be charged more.
Can we stand it? Can you check it real quick?
do that fair thing.
Trying to use the button down here.
I do like I don't have to be connected to a computer, sorry.
Oh, can you try to get them?
Yeah.
You gotta get up and do whatever.
Do with any of them except jump the
No. Yeah, I'm just sitting on the desk.
Oh, there's the luck because he loves this.
Except I'm not the one jumping.
You have to try it.
No.
I hate jumping.
Okie dokie. Let's go. Oh, that was summer fishing.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
I can't jump that far.
You have to try. It'll only let me recharge after an attempt.
Looks like we're waiting on Yoshi.
Start.
Didn't Shaka Khan sing a version of it?
Yeah.
Oh,
She sang the original one.
Yay, baby.
I hate that game. I never want to play it again.
You did a great job.
Yeah, don't let me play Cookie Cutter. We should never play this one. Alright, who's gonna do Marco Polo?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Marco Polo, Marco Polo.
It's easier to progress because your base is so close to resources.
No. I think it's easier for me to progress because I already know what I need to do. Like, I already knew what to start looking for and how to do it.
When you're trying to flip the camera?
To start catching like bugs. I knew I needed. I was gonna need to sell stuff, so I was
You're
already
gonna
getting
just like
more
spread your
and
fingers.
getting stuff that was already needed.
That's what she said.
That Scarlet Crocodile.
Bonus.
And I've been selling them all my bugs. I've been selling them fish and
Sorry.
everything.
Am I recording?
Yeah, you're
Since
right.
you're selling it so quickly, you can make more money at the beginning.
Alright, so we've been playing on teams.
So yeah, we did couples, team battles, Mario Party, Jamboree, and we're about to find out who got the bonus stars, who's taking home the
Who's the
belt,
winner?
or leaving the belt here but wearing the belt. But Alright, I guess whoever wants to press A. You want me to press A? Okay, first bonus
is
is item bonus.
That's probably gonna
Most
be.
resourceful.
That should have been us.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably Vicky and Leonard.
Bonus goes to.
Vicky and Leonard.
Just
Yeah.
needed that for.
Alright, so
Second
second
bonus.
bonus.
Eventful
I
bonus.
think that was y'all. Y'all landed on the fishing and the
Yeah.
high tide and all of that.
Woo!
Oh, there we go.
That's
There we go.
Yeah. That's me and my baby. Alright, without further ado, who will be Superstar?
Oh.
Yay, it's us! Baby, we're the
Yeah, we
queen
did
king.
it.
The mushroom
We
king.
did it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Why do you keep flashing him around?
I don't know.
Because he's not fully in the camera.
Oh.
What's that? You can have that toothpaste.
But there's our graph,
Yeah. We're the pink one.
and we won it. So thanks again for tuning in. See you guys on the next one.
Bless you.
Bless you.
All right, and I forgot to do my outro. I was lost in the sauce. That said, thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you again soon. If we don't, remember, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Other yellow hat guy will return for myself, for Vicky, for Jamie,
Yay.
for Alpha, and for what is Anne's thing on here again?
Diva.
Drama.
Drama Diva 7. There we go. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, how are you? I'm Captain Sensation. I'm on stage to you to enjoy my creations. Movie reviews, let's plays, they're amazing. Stay tuned for more. I'm Captain Sensation. Sympathy for Pokemon and Atari. Wait, here's more funny Mario Party. Games that are short and some that are gnarly. From a Gen X version, Rose and Party. Woo! Here we go, y'all.
Has anyone watched Stewart Saves the Universe?
Yeah, we
Yes.
watched that tonight.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
No.